Welcome to All About Arsenal. I'm your host, Anthony, and today I have a very close friend of mine, MC Moore. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm very fine. It's good to be here. Let's talk Arsenal.
Yeah, it's time for us to talk Arsenal. Before we start to talk about what the fans wanted to do, let's just think about how this season has been so far. What's your take on the new campaign so far?
Okay, so briefly, I'm excited because a lot of the issues I feel we have been having as a club has been addressed. I was never for the idea to put two greenhorns in critical positions. Three greenhorns, if you think about it. Josh was a greenhorn in football management in England. Mikel was taking his first senior coaching club stint, and Edu was taking his first football directorial position. So you brought in three greenhorns, critical positions to overtake a very expensive endeavor. I didn't think it was wise. Better is coming 2 years late, but you can see the difference. We've had about six signings. We've renewed three major contracts. The fourth and fifth one is on the way, and
Awesome.
we've not sold anybody we needed to keep. And I think we're in a good position in terms of even selling or buying. We can choose to be flexible now. So that addresses the key parts. Now I'm more interested in what Mikel is going to do with what he has at his disposal. Because with the way the club is structured now, I think better is the man to come in and say nobody has any excuse. Does
Okay.
that flow onto the position of Mikel? We don't quite know. But if it does, it poses a challenge to Mikel. He needs to also step up his game. And to be honest, the gaffer has always said that he needs to do better. He keeps saying it. He keeps saying that he has to do better. So I think that's good for self-reflection. So generally, the women team, I know they will win. But for the men team, let's see what the next 2 weeks holds before I give my verdict in terms of incomings and outgoings.
Great. So we have folks in the chat. Hi, Mr. Singh. Thanks for joining the stream today. Looking forward to answering your questions as well. I have a couple of more folks in the chat coming in. So we're going to start with the questions from the fans. And the very first question is a very heavy one. It says, can Arsenal win the Premier League this season? So what's your take on that?
Arsenal can win the Premier League this season. Sunderland can win the Premier League this season. It's possibilities, right? Every team in the division can win the league. But more realistically, when you stack us up against the key rivals, we stand a good chance. In fact, if we were to draw on the experience of the past 36 months, we should be winning the league because it means that we now know how to manage ourselves better. We are more experienced. And as I said earlier, the transfer window has been the best I've experienced as a national fan. I think
Oh,
so.
awesome. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
adding all those things together, it makes our shot to the title better than last year and last 2 years, if I might add. A key factor in the first 11 has been addressed, and that's the signing of number nine position. We have enough cover in the defense to cover for injuries. The midfield has enough cover. We are looking for one or two more attacking players. But let's not forget the rise of the Max Dolmans and the Nwaneris. These are all options. It's looking interesting. But then against other teams, against a Manchester City, they suffered last season. And of course, they accept only results. So Pep is going to be on the lookout for blood. Already, two players he signed in January, he's ditched them. That should tell you a lot. Also, we look at Chelsea. They've won they've won two continental titles in the past 3 months. That has engineered beliefs among the players. Their recruitment policy has always been interesting, but now with the signing of the Hatos, the possibilities of the Xavi Simons, the signing of Delap, these are players that cover critical positions that Chelsea have lacked in the past season. Coupled with the winning belief, it also makes them a very interesting candidate. You look at Liverpool, They signed Hugo Ekitike, they signed Florian Waits, they signed Kekes, they signed Frimpong. What am I trying to say? Arsenal were strengthening, but every other team around us were also strengthening. So I think it boils down to the gaffer at this point in time. How do you use the tools at your disposal? How do you manage these 23 players over the course of a 55, 60 game season? Already, because of the lack of trophies in the last 4 years, winning the trophy now has become more paramount. Had it been we picked up a couple of FA Cups and Carling Cups in the past few years, it wouldn't be. But now it is. So,
I
first of
agree.
all, we must win a trophy. That is the first order condition. Secondly, in Europe, we cannot be seen to just fall off lightly. The target should be another semi-final appearance. That should be the for the FA Cup and Carling Cups. It should be all out for the win. Those are 11 games that can give you two trophies that can save the backlash at the end of the season. Why not take it
Mhm.
seriously? You know, I asked this question 2 years ago when fans were saying, we have left the FA Cup, we have left the Carling Cup, we focus on the league. I said, that's I don't want to use the B word, but that doesn't make sense to me. Take the one where you see first. 11 games, two cups is doable. So for Mikel, he has to win. Has to. He has to have won 2 years ago. He has to have won last year. Let us chalk 3 years ago down to being inexperienced. But this is 6 years. That excuse cannot fly anymore. I cannot say it enough. He has to win. Absolutely has to win. Not the Premier League, but the Carling Cup and FA Cup should be must-haves. The Premier League should see a challenge that is very respectable. But if he wins the Premier League, it will not be something that should be surprising to anybody because he's been knocking for the past 36 months. That's how I put it.
Okay,
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
That's
That's
a
a
very
very
good
good
take.
take.
That's a
That's a
very
very
good
good
take.
take.
So
So
let's
let's
go
go
to
to the next question on
the
the
next
list. The next
question on the
question
list. The next question
comes
from
from
Andrew.
Andrew. He says, can
He
Arsenal
says
go all the way in the
the
Champions League
Champions
this
League.
season?
Uh, okay, so the thing is this the Champions League has the luck element in it because the draws can be in your favor. There could be a scenario where you end up in the quarterfinal of the Champions League playing a Fenerbahce, and another team can end up there playing a PSG. But in terms of the basic requirements, and what are the basic requirements? I'm talking about a solid squad. The Champions League always exposes the squad depth of teams because, especially teams in England, because you know how we play 3 days, 2 days during the Christmas period. It leads into the fatigue that builds into the knockout of the Champions League. Last year, we experienced that because we had a lot of injuries. If we have that kind of experience this year, there's nothing for us. Now, if the squad is well managed, I already said a semi-final was a realistic finishing place. That means they have about a 10% chance, maybe let me say a 7 to 10% chance of winning it. And if you count all the teams in the Champions League, having a 7 to 10% chance is a very good number. Can I sign with the Champions League? Yes. But do they have to be disciplined and ruthless? Hell yes. Last year against PSG, in the first 10 minutes of the second leg, we could have overturned the tie. Two big chances. Declan Rice, none taken. In the first leg, before the second goal came in, Martinelli, big chance, not taken. Trossard, big chance, not taken. These were key moments that turned the ties. In terms of clean cut chances created over the two legs, we matched PSG. But in our box, Thomas Partey first goal, second leg. Thomas Partey second goal, second leg. These were key moments that cost us the tie. So can we have that mental capacity to be in the game? And I'm very surprised about what happened against PSG because I saw that mental capacity against Madrid. It was there. We were 2-0 up. Saliba made a gaffe. Madrid scored, and we still had the temerity to score one more goal. But against PSG, it just went out. So can we carry that mentality and confidence from game to game, from round to round? Again, a lot of this boils down to how the gaffer has prepared the squad. Mikel
I
has
agree
a
with you.
chip on his shoulder right now. He has a chip on his shoulder right now. So it boils down to him. How ready is he for the kind of challenges he has faced over the past 3 years? Do they have a chance of winning Champions League? Yes, they do. But I've seen better Arsenal teams not win the Champions League. If they don't win it, will I be surprised? No, I won't. But do they have a genuine shot if they keep it disciplined and take their chances? Of course they do. Are they one of the best 8 teams in Europe going into the Champions League? I think they are. So that's a very good chance for them to win the Champions League. Again, the GAFA has a lot of work to do for that to be a reality.
Oh, thank you very much, MC Mo. That's a very good answer. So I guess we'll go to the next question on the list. And the next question here says, how underrated is Christian Norgard?
I think he's well rated. Now,
You feel so?
I know when he was, I think he's rated enough for his ability, let me put it that way. Except you're not a footballing person or you don't follow the Premier League. Christian Norgard is reliable. That's just it. And talking about what he was signed to do in Arsenal, which was provide cover for Jorginho, that's a hit. Low transfer fee, low salaries. He would not cause a fuss. He will even be dying to play. He's in his 30s and he's just coming to us now. He'll be dying to play. He would have the hunger. Of course, it's hearing a lot of people say, why is Arsenal signing Norgard? That should add to the fire in his belly. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's rated enough for the kind of football he plays. And I think if the squad is managed properly, he will have an important part to play for us this campaign. Hello? Enigma? Oh, I wasn't hearing you at all before, but I can hear you now.